This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker McCormick, and her co-host, Michael Van Tull, powered by the McCormick Report, Detroit's longest-running online community newsletter since 2008.
Welcome to Chew on This Detroit. What up, Doe, Mike? It is so much going on right now, isn't it?
And this is Monique Baker McCormick.
Yes, I am.
My name's Michael Van Tull.
That's right.
Glad you're here with us. What up, Doe? This segment is all about us and some things that are going on in and around our community and across the country and across the world, really.
Yes.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, and it is. And so what we decided is that some of the segments we would have guests, and then others we would just have real conversation, real talk about what's going on locally as well as around the country. So today is one of those days where we're going to just break down some issues like
I said, nationally and locally too.
What do you want to talk about? And we need that. Yes, your mic.
I guess, man, that made a big difference.
It made a huge difference.
Okay. Normally, I don't have a problem being on a mic.
That's his background. He was on radio
25 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On about, I think, 4 different programs over the years. So, and
you're talking about starting up another program, right?
My team and I are working on something. I'm not going to say anything about it yet, but we are working on something right now to get back on the radio. But
so not only will you hear him here, but you'll also get him
other places.
Places.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this segment is called "What Up, Doe?" This is Detroit. And I can tell you can be anywhere in the world and you say "What up, Doe?" They know you're from Detroit. There's something about this saying that has just taken off now, and they recognize us as from Detroit now with "What up, Doe?"
And I was watching, and I don't know, it was on Facebook with Frankie Darcell, and remember the Scene days, and was it Nat Turner? But one of the guys that was on radio and part of the whole radio scene back in the day, they are actually saying that is where it originally came from. The What Up, Doe, way back when. And I guess everybody's been kind of digging into, okay, where did we... or when did we start saying "What up, Doe?" and where did it come from? So yeah, that was interesting to see.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say that Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, after more than a month, she's still missing, and this is just a strange that they would pick her, and this has got to be devastating to the family that they're still dealing with this after over a month now that she's missing. And it's like, can they just leave her, bring her back or something? I mean, this thing is blowing up in their face. Nothing is going to happen with this. I don't think they're going to get any money out of this. I don't think none of that's going to happen.
Yeah, because now it's up to $1 million that they're offering for her return. So,
84 years old,
and it's sad.
This is one of the strangest kidnappings I've ever seen. It's like something when we find. I hope we get to the bottom of it, but I think it's going to be very shocking as to who did this
and why. Because it seems like it's more to it than some stranger coming to your door and and then your mom is missing.
Yeah.
Is it a stranger? Was it a stranger?
Yeah.
Was it somebody related, or they don't know. No one knows.
But it brought up another case, another issue that here we go with, some Native Americans have been upset because a number of Native American women have been missing in Arizona.
Yeah. And all of the television
and in other states
time that they get for
Nancy Guthrie got all this publicity.
Yes.
But there have also been a lot of black women that have been missing across the country, and they don't get this much attention.
So we never do.
Right. And so it brought out this issue that, women of color don't get this attention and notoriety as white women do. So, it brought up something, you hate to bring it up, but it's the truth.
It is.
It's the truth. So
it is. Just like anything else, recently we sponsored the Black Hair, Our Health.
Yes, you did.
Resolution, yes. When I say that, I meant the Wayne County Commission. And it's again the attention that women of color get that other people don't get. What we should be getting, but we don't get it, I should say. And that's just, I guess, history. Historically, we have been kind of left behind in that space. If a white woman comes up missing, then it's everywhere, and people don't stop talking about it. And so this is a real problem, and in the disparities of how we are treated.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to acknowledge, sometimes I look at the screen and see who's chiming in, and I see Dr. Vertanji, Kendricks Bailey is chimed in.
Yes.
And I just, I know her mental health summit is coming up on Sunday, and I just want to give you a little shout out. We'll be there.
Yes.
And thank you, Dr. Vertanji, for highlighting this issue, and more over the last few years, African Americans are accepting and acknowledging that mental health is an issue in our community, and it doesn't have that stigma that it used to. It still does a little bit, but I think people are addressing it more. And the thing is, almost every family is affected by someone that has some mental health issues, and we need to acknowledge it, start addressing it. Don't brush it off.
Yes.
Don't just brush it off. And thank you for doing this and having this summit on Sunday.
Yes, and we went. Our children went to school together at Cass, so we go way back. But we also had James White at our meeting today. He is the former police chief, but now he is the president or CEO of DWIN, our mental health authority in Wayne County. And he mentioned something that I really never thought about, but basically he said that we all have a spectrum of mental health illness in some way or another, because depression, everybody gets a little depressed sometimes. That is a form on a spectrum of mental illness. And I never really thought about it that way until he said that. So we want to really remove the stigma from, getting help and getting the resources that are needed. It's nothing wrong with it. If you need help with, if you had diabetes and you needed help, you would go and you would get medicine. It's the same exact thing. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, Ms. Bailey. We really appreciate anyone that's fighting that fight in that space.
Absolutely. Well-known Detroit restaurant owner Mike B. Brown was fatally shot at a late-night bar or after-hours establishment early Saturday morning in a triple shooting. 2 others were injured. but the popular business owner was the only fatality. Mike B was admired and respected as a business owner, and was supporting other black businesses. He owned the Sloppy brand of restaurants, Sloppy Chops, Sloppy Crab on Jefferson downtown. He invested in Detroit, the neighborhoods, and was referred to as a community builder. We really
senseless
yes, our condolences
to his family.
go out to the family and friends of Mike B. And he was doing something for his community and working hard. And the Sloppy brand, the Sloppy Chops, was popular. I had not gotten over there yet, but I heard about it.
Yeah, there was one,
and it's
in
just
my
unfortunate.
district. Yeah.
These overnight clubs, parties, speakeasies, a lot of them are dangerous. They're open all night. And apparently was one of the places that he was at, and the disturbance broke out. But
and that's just sad.
Michael Brown, Mike B, owner of Sloppy Chops and Sloppy Crab, and I hope the brand survives, and I hope to get over there.
Yeah,
but it impacted a lot of people.
And when you talk about violence and folks killing each other, that is a form of mental illness,
yes,
as well. I mean, but what drives you to kill somebody?
Why is
over
it,
what?
Yes, and why is it that when people get mad, why is it that they have to go straight to getting a gun and killing somebody? What that's mental illness. You're right. Why do you have to kill someone when you have a disagreement? Why does it always and it seems like in our community, that's the first thing people do is go get a gun.
Right.
To kill somebody over something.
Petty.
Little. There's nothing that is
senseless,
unless somebody is attacking you.
And it's self-defense.
You don't have to kill somebody if they cut you off on the freeway, if they made a mistake and
stepped on your foot.
If they cut in front of you, they stole your parking space. Well, it's not your parking space. If they park in and they cut you and went into the parking space, you don't have to kill them over that. Yeah. None of this stuff is worth killing over. I've heard people killed over a can of soup. Okay. I've heard people
shopping in the mall, or
parking spaces, their carts at the grocery store,
endless,
all that stuff.
And then, Mike, just a day or two ago, and it just hurts my heart so much to hear this. An 11-year-old child got shot by another child. The parent went into some place, left her weapon in the car, unlocked, and
unsecured, unlocked.
And this is exactly the situation that our Wayne County Youth Council spoke to. That it doesn't make sense for anyone who is a gun owner to be irresponsible. I mean, if you're not going to be responsible for the weapon that you have, you don't need it.
Right.
I mean, I have a weapon and I make sure that it's locked at all times or it's put away so that my grandchildren or children don't get to it. And now, because of the advocacy of the Youth Council and many others, after time and time again, we ask parents, we ask anyone that has a gun to safely secure it. We've asked that over and over again. So now, of course, the governor signed into law the safe storage law. Mm-hmm. And it basically states that if you, as an adult, don't safely lock up your weapon and a child gets to it, that you will be charged. And that's what's happening with this parent. That even though she didn't mean to, forgot, whatever it was, but you have 5 or 6 kids in a car and your weapon is there. It's just, it's so sad, Mike.
Yes, and I applaud all of those. There's some people and organizations that are making these gun locks. Bernard McMurray has his gun locks, and
That's right.
we've I've talked to him many times, and there are organizations, police departments, and governmental agencies that are offering free gun locks to people.
Right.
Just come and get it. Just call your police department and see if they can help you.
Yes. And I see my good friend, a longtime friend, Marilyn French Hubbard, is on Facebook. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I like to highlight people that are watching. So
thank you for telling me that.
If you want to get a shout out,
he showed me that.
If you want to get a shout out, when we see you, we'll give you a shout out. Okay, 'cause we appreciate you. And it makes a difference because it takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Monique really spent a lot of time, effort, and money building this whole studio and putting this all together. And when
it's really
when
because
somebody chimes in and says they're watching,
it makes a
makes
difference.
It feel like it was worth it.
And it's
stuff
really,
costs a lot of money.
And it's not about really the money, Mike. It's about making a difference. We all can make a difference. This is how we make a difference.
Well, I've been on the radio for 25 years.
Making a
and it's
difference.
about the money.
Well, anyway.
Radio costs.
Anyway.
Podcast costs and radio costs.
Yes,
okay?
it does. But for me, and maybe I need to start being that way. Maybe I would be wealthy by now. But it hasn't been about...
Radio costs. Podcast is a little bit
different. Yeah.
But radio is expensive.
Well, like I said, for me, there is a cost to all of this.
But you always do stuff for the people anyway. So
that's who I am, and that's what this show is about. As we get all of this fake fake news, I was going to say something else, excuse me, but as we get all of this fake news,
we got some fake.
We have
fake
to
news
be about
coming up in a minute too.
We have to be about the business of sharing real facts, like what's really going on, and not all of that other rhetoric that we hear. And so that's what this show is about. It evolved from the McCormick Report into a show. So,
well, and we do get to the bottom of it, and we will tell you how we feel and what we believe of something.
I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes we tell it like it is.
That's right.
And we're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but like we were talking about earlier, if you have a record of, whatever it is, if you got a record
and you're getting ready to run for office,
then
you got to run on your record.
You got to run on your record, because that's what people look at. Anytime somebody asks me, and I always say that's what we have to do when anyone runs. Look at their record. What did they do? How did they vote? And if that matches your sense of who you think you want that person to represent you, if that's what matches and you're good with their record, then that's the way you go. But that's what we got to start looking at. And we got somebody in office. I don't even like to talk about that person up there, but he's making a trail of chaos for his record.
Now that you brought him up, I just want to say, first of all, why are we at war? I mean, is it regime change, or is it because Iran had continental ballistic missiles? Or is it because
the Epstein
of the
file
nuclear bomb that they could make?
It's just,
or was it retribution for previous things that Iran has done to Americans? I mean, we've heard all of these,
that, except we just want to get people's mind off the Epstein file. So we'll start a war just like that.
Well, I just don't know even the MAGA base, they never wanted.
A
It was
war.
supposed to be America first, and
Yeah.
and we were supposed to invest. Do you know that it cost about $3 billion the first day we attacked Iran, and that every day since
after.
it's been costing this country $1 billion? Didn't we cut a whole bunch of people during Doge days, and we got rid of all these employees because apparently it was waste? But look how much we're spending now. Where's the
And how many lives we're going to
Yeah.
lose.
I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand why we have to fight and spend $1 billion a day when we were cutting. Iran was always dangerous. They were always terrorists from day one. From I guess when the Shah was taken out, and this new clergy. Islamic clergy, whatever, took over with the ayatollahs and all that. But now what? We got money for all of this now, and we had to cut all this stuff for human services to help poor people, sick people around the world.
Right, to
And
start
now
a war.
Now we're spending $1 billion per day on this war
to make billionaires wealthier, basically, because that's what wars do.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right. And for the people that voted for him, I mean, he basically told you that he was a liar. I mean, I don't get it. I never will, and we can probably go in circles about the chaos that he's causing every single day. And really, for me, I think the bottom line that it was started because he wanted to get people's thoughts and minds off of the Epstein files, which it's like, we know who you are. I mean, whether you deduct information and or not, we already know who you are. Well, we should anyway. And if you don't, then it's like, how do you tell somebody that someone doesn't have it all, and you continue to tell them that they don't have it all, but you believe something different?
I don't know how
it's like cultish, it's just shameful.
I don't know how we're going to pay for this war, but also we're going to need to build more Patriot defense systems. We're going to have to pay for more missiles, bombs, drones. So this stuff is costing. I know there's a meeting at the White House, I think today, with a lot of the defense contractors, so that they can kind of ramp up production of some of these weapons and things like that. But this is turning out to be very, very costly. And
of course, war is always costly.
I'm hoping we did not underestimate Iran.
Of course we did, because we just jumped in to a war and we don't even know why. Congress wasn't notified. America wasn't even,
and how are we going to get out of this?
Exactly.
How can we declare that we won? What's
the end game?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the end game?
Yeah.
And then, the president was on the news a couple days ago, and what I couldn't believe is how nonchalantly he was talking about.
I don't know who's going to take over
people,
either.
That were killed. He was like, oh, and they were killed too, and they were killed. And it's like, these are lives. Even if they're our enemies, they're people and they have families. So it's sad.
Yeah, who's going to take over in Iran?
He doesn't know. They don't know. They don't know even why we're in this.
Yeah. One piece of good news: Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, is out. She's out.
Yeah.
I don't know if some of you don't realize it. It just
Oh, my
it just
goodness.
happened within the past couple of hours, and a lot of you may not even have not even heard about it. But Kristi Noem is out.
Out.
She was fired as chief of the Department of Homeland Security. And I think that was one of the best decisions that Donald Trump has made this year. Great move. And then the next person is Pam Bondi. That's that's the next person. And then there are many others, but it's time to start making these things and I'm grateful that that decision was made and get her out of here.
Yes. So the sun came back out today, so we're going to have to wrap this up.
In Michigan.
In Michigan.
In Michigan,
It
that's
was
our
raining,
weather. It was
like
a cold rain all day today
cold
too.
rain, and then all of a sudden the sun came out.
I know.
It
stopped
beautiful.
raining and the sun came out. It's just strange, but that's Michigan for you. But when I was younger, winter was exciting to me. And now I understand why people snowbirds go down to Florida. Now I know why people go down to Arizona and Nevada and all that stuff. Because it takes a toll on your body after a few decades up here in this cold snow ice type of freeze.
And we've had a hard winter.
This one was rough. This one was tougher than most in the past.
Snowing, it seemed like every other day, and it stuck. It wasn't that snow that evaporated the next day. It was there.
There was ice, solid ice on our driveways and walkways for months since November of last year. But
and it's supposed to be. I think we get like 60
coming up over the weekend, Sunday, Monday.
We warm up a little bit.
Whatever happened to our applause meter?
Oh, you know what? We'll figure that out. I don't know, but
I was trying to press that. Yeah, we have to make our own applause.
You're right.
But this was a great. I'm glad that we get a chance to have conversations like this and talk about things, about issues. What up, though?
So one statement I do want to make before we leave. It's in reference to calls that my office has received in reference to. It really relates to our sheriff and litigation that he is currently going through, or accusations that are being made. And for me, I would prefer, and what I want to see is that the court process plays itself out. That way, I know all of the facts. You know all the facts, because it's going to play out in court. Not making assumptions, not pointing fingers.
And a lot of stuff has already been out. I mean, it's been on.
It's been kind of going in circles.
The local stations have jumped all over because some of a reporter from Channel 4 is involved.
Is now involved, right?
Even though Channel 7 did the actual
original
report, Channel 4 is involved in it too, because one of their newest anchors was the one that recorded Mike Turner. The secret recording. So it's all out. It's a lot that's been out, and so but why hasn't the commission? Don't. Isn't there?
So that's what I wanted to make. A comment about is that the commission does not have authority to remove any elected officials. We're elected officials. We're on a equal playing field.
So the governor is the only one that can.
The governor.
Actually,
that's it.
So there could
the governor or you as voters.
Right. So the commission may. It's possible. It may or may not happen, but the commission could come. The ethics committee can come with a letter proposing that he be removed, but they have to mail it to the governor.
Exactly. And we set up, and a lot of people don't know this, that I actually was in a lawsuit against Wayne County before I became a commissioner, and it dealt with the ethics board. So we have an ethics board that deals with all of the issues that people may complain about, like this, right? And those issues are supposed to go to our ethics board, and our ethics board at that point will then determine what should happen next. Maybe they refer it to the governor or to the commission and said, tell us that, we, based on these facts and this evidence that we have, we recommend XYZ. Well, I would have loved to hear what our ethics board had to say about this. But however, our ethics board, it doesn't have any teeth. So even if they wanted to subpoena, or if they wanted to make an elected officials go through maybe some type of training, no
matter what, they just don't have the authority to do anything.
They have no authority.
They cannot remove him or anything.
Okay. So what I'm recommending, and as I told the media the other day, I would like our ethics board to have teeth. I would have liked them to have teeth when I was suing Wayne County way back in the day, and that they could have addressed the issue that I was complaining about at that time. And so that is where I'm going. And if you want to ask your commissioner to do the same, as to push for an ethics board that have teeth, that is where we need to go. And like the city of Detroit, they have their own processes for ethical issues, and even some legal issues. What this does, when your ethics board has teeth, it eliminates some of the costs associated with legal fees, and therefore it reduces costs to the taxpayers. So that is what I would like to see, and that is my personal statement in reference to any issues related to elected officials in Wayne County. It needs to be addressed by our ethics board.
Yeah, so there is a process. I mean, the sheriff is a very personable guy, very friendly, and he was elected
by you.
That's right.
By Wayne County.
So we gotta let
voters
the process go through it, and then let's see what happens after that. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what? I'm glad we addressed it.
Yes.
A lot of people are afraid to address some of these issues. There's a lot. Look, I've been on the radio for 25 years. There's a lot of programs out here. They talk a lot about something, but then they're quiet on other issues.
Right. Be transparent. I always say that.
I noticed that over the years.
Yep.
They'll touch on some things, but then they will be silent on other issues.
That is so true.
And primarily because they probably got they got some interest in it somewhere, and they don't want to say nothing.
Right. Well, Wayne County is full of these good old boy networks and cliques, and if you're not in the clique, then or if you are in the clique, then of course you have to kind of stay out of it, right? Or don't say anything, or or hide.
But that's just like whether it's the city of Detroit or any major government organization. People don't want to say nothing because they don't want to shake
ruffle
up the apple cart.
Feathers. That's right.
Yes.
Well, this has been fun as usual. Chew on this, Detroit.
Yeah, chew on that. Chew on that.
That's right. Where our music at?
Oh.
We'll go out with our song today. Our promo. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back on next Thursday. So look for us, Chew on This Detroit. And as Mike try to
Look, I wasn't even prepared for this.
Well, you should be, right? He's
I know.
supposed to be our DJ, like on the show. I do want to say the last thing. I started Ask the Commissioner Thursdays. Ask the Commissioner
That's right.
Thursday. So we will be at the Redford Branch Library on March 26th.
Yep.
From 5 until 6:30.
Good.
So I hope if you have time, come on by. You can ask me any questions, even the hard questions. I will answer. So that's March 26th, Thursday. Ask the Commissioner Thursday at the Redford Branch Library in Redford, right on West McNichol 6 Mile. Off of Telegraph.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
You're great for co-hosting because you gave me some time to catch everything.
All
but and if don't forget to tell your friends, your families, your business associates, co-workers, let them know that Chew on This Detroit is on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart. We've got new episodes for you every month. And I particularly like when we have these type of conversations. But this has been great. I enjoy working with you, Monique Baker McCormick.
Well, thank you, Michael Van Tool.
This is Chew on This with your host, Monique Baker McCormick, and her co-host, Michael Van Tool, powered by the McCormick Report, Detroit's longest-running online community newsletter since 2008.